So what are the corrections that you're looking for specifically?
Force, because that's the only thing that's gonna work.
But I mean, what are you looking for black men to arrive at? A place of understanding of like what do you want to see?
Well, me
change?
We believe that there is no hope for them. That we don't believe in changing their minds. We don't. But I'm trying not to say what I really want to say because you're on stage. But if they could not exist, hey, we wouldn't be mad at.
All right, welcome back to another video of over.
So real quick, just to give y'all some context, that is on the app called what is the app called? Clubhouse. And what Clubhouse has turned into now is really just like a trauma place where all these traumatized people go to. And what you just saw was, I'm almost always going to assume that whenever I see a group of quote unquote, notice I'm throwing the quotes up there, quote unquote black women in a space, whether that be TikTok, whether that be Twitter, whether that be Clubhouse, Instagram, wherever it may be, saying a bunch of negative talking points on black men, I'm gonna almost always assume that those people are not black American women. I don't jump to that conclusion, and I don't hold that against my black Americans.
Keep doing what you do. Started following you a few weeks ago, and I love your content.
Man, T, I appreciate that $10 donation, man. Shout out to T, y'all. T, much love. Appreciate you following me. Appreciate you continuing to watch the content. I'm glad you're liking it, man. I'm gonna make sure I stay consistent for you, T. Appreciate the love. Shout out to T, y'all. WT in the chat. Thank you for the $10, T. Much love, TT. Yeah, so whenever I see these negative conversations on black men or black women, right? It don't no same side on the women. Whenever I see these conversations where black women are this and black men are this, almost always these conversations are being held by non-black American men and women. And I want y'all to be wary of that. What I don't want y'all to do is I don't want y'all to take the negative, the negative like conversations and the negative energy that come from these outsiders and then throwing that on your own ethnic group of women. So always check that up front. So whenever you see these negative talking points on the internet, figure out where that woman's family from. Figure out where that man's family's from. You know what I'm saying? You see a perfect case of this with somebody like Amaru Fuddle, aka publicly his name is Myron Gaines, but his true name is Amaru Fuddle. He talks about black American women and how degenerate and terrible they are, right? But somebody who don't know no better, they're just gonna call him a black man. No, he not black, number one. Secondly, he's somebody who does that, and he's not of our lineage. So what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna say, well, yeah, black American men or black men always talking about black women, and then I'm throwing like his negativity and I'm blanketing it into an entire group of black men, which again, he ain't even black for real. You know what I'm saying? So and he's not black based on what he say. He's not black because he's not a black American. His lineage is not, a part of us. So always check that. And obviously that woman in that space or Clubhouse space, whatever it's called, is saying that black men should basically be eradicated and not exist. So let's keep going.
Reacting. No book of by go by the name of Eli. As always, we got Jew with us.
What it do? It's your boy Jew, and we out here overreacting for you. More content, more clips. Make sure you like and subscribe.
I like this dude when I be watching these shows. I rock with bro because he ain't sweet. I ain't saying the other dudes are sweet, but like I don't know him personally, but he I could tell that energy. Like he got that energy I got. Like he'll say what's on. He ain't trying to be nice and he ain't trying to be all kiki and caca with all that. He ain't trying to be everybody friend. He gonna say what's on his mind. He ain't trying to be nice with niggas and just he ain't on none of that. He gonna stand on his 10 like a man. I respect this. I don't know dude at all. I don't even know dude. But the way he present himself, these type niggas that I like to be around, like titans. Men that ain't scared to stand on their 10 and you know what I'm saying, do something about it if you got an issue. Shout out to dude.
Subscribe, get that Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Get the merch, dailywrapupcrew.co. If not, you know what I'm saying? You know how to rhyme.
Gotta fill in the blanks.
You know what I mean? Cat in the hat balls, you heard?
Anyway, we got a special guest with us. Jeff, let them know where they can follow you at.
What's going on, y'all? The name is Jeff St. James, and you can find me at Ask a Brother Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Listen, this next video was sent over to us by you guys, the viewers. This one...
Carlette, thank you for another $20 donation, Carlette. Carlette says, thank you for your broadcast. Carlette, thank you for the $20 donation, man. Shout out to Carlette, y'all. WC in the chat. Carlette, thank you for the love and the support. I appreciate you always coming to my live and donating, keeping this content afloat. Carlette, thank you again, Carlette.
Thank you. We're underneath my radar. I didn't even know this video was out there, man. Mm-hmm. It's a very similar video to something that we talked about in the past. I think he even got the same Clubhouse aesthetic, or maybe they was on Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
That's what the conversation is happening. That's what they beat up.
clearly, man, we're gonna play the video. It's a very disturbing video. We're gonna play the video. We're gonna come back and give our thoughts on it.
So what are the corrections that you're looking for specific?
Force, because that's the only thing that's gonna work.
But I mean, what are you looking for black men to arrive?
Pay attention to while y'all watching this. You can see who's talking. Look at the mic. So clearly her mic is going off and she's talking. Her name says bullet bag. Bullet bag is a term that a lot of non-foundational black American women use to describe black men as bullet bags. So basically a joke on us getting shot by the police. So basically we're a bullet bag, like training, for police to just shoot at. And you see that. I don't think I've ever seen a black American woman. Maybe y'all have. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but in my personal life, I've never seen a black American woman call a black American man a bullet bag. I have almost always exclusively seen it from specifically Caribbean women. I'm not saying all Caribbean women do this. I'm not throwing all, non-foundational black American people under this construct, but I've exclusively seen this from Caribbean women online. I will say that.
At a place of understanding of like what do you want to see?
Well, me
We
personally,
believe that there is no hope for them. That we don't believe in changing their minds. We don't. But I'm trying not to say what I really want to say because you're on stage. But if they could not exist, hey, we wouldn't be mad at.
I think for me, I want the coddling culture to kind of stop. I think they get validated a little bit too much and they're not held accountable as much as white men, Hispanic men, Asian men. Like the legal system works in their benefit a little bit more than they think it does. They're seen as the ultimate, most oppressed. And I think that coddling culture needs to stop and they need to be held accountable for their actions.
Because we live in white male patriarchy, white men set what's socially acceptable. So with you all setting what's socially acceptable, the degenerate behavior.
Jew, what's your thoughts on this?
Honestly.
Okay, real quick, I want y'all to let me just say this before we get their breakdown. Understand that a lot of women modern women, I'm not throwing the good women under the bus. So what I'm about to say, don't take it personally if it does not apply to you. But I want y'all to understand something. A lot of women who have these negative dispositions in general about men are usually one of these few things that I'm about to mention. They've usually had a lot of sexual experiences with men, and they've come to the conclusion that none of these men actually wanted to be with them. So they are now upset at the fact that they have never been able to get the outcome that they were looking for from the bedroom, because what they actually wanted was a long-term relationship. So now they feel the way because they keep dealing with the dudes, they keep sleeping with them and keep wasting their time, and they don't know how to fix it. So the thing to do is, let me just have this negative disposition towards men in this way because I keep sleeping with these dudes and they don't want to be with me, and I'm upset at that. They've wasted my value. Women innately understand that there's a value within their sexual history. So when they feel as though they've slept with so many men and had so many experiences with the dudes who didn't do right by them, they blame all men for the fact that the true problem is themselves and the guys that they were actively letting inside of them and the guys that they were choosing. There's plenty of good men out here. You just don't want them. You want them to be something else. That's the first thing. The second thing is usually more common, is the fact that they're overweight. Not all overweight women. Again, I'm not speaking on, if it don't apply, let it fly. But significantly overweight and obese women have an issue with men because they're not attractive. So they get jealous of women who are attractive, and they don't like that men never wanted them. They've been feeling that way since they first started liking dudes in the 2nd and 3rd grade, right? They were always the woman who was just kind of just the outcast. She was the big girl in class from when she was a kid, which is not her fault. It's actually her parents' fault. But as she got older, she never tried to work on it, and she just continued to be big. She continued to be significantly overweight, and the fact that nobody wants her is now everybody else's fault. So her issue is actually coming from herself and her own insecurities rather than anything else. The next thing is also just as common as women who are ugly. Ugly women always also feel away. They're jealous of women who aren't ugly, and they don't like the fact that they're not getting chose either. So again, the lack of attention the lack of male attention, the lack of them possibly getting something what they want in the end, which is a relationship they were never able to get. So again, they're upset at men as well. And yeah, and there's other things that can happen too. Maybe some type of trauma that woman has been through, but Usually those are the three things. You never got commitment and you're upset. You're overweight or you're ugly. Those three things tend to be the reasons why women, and again, I want y'all to pay attention to this as well. Look at how mostly all of them are on a fake page hiding their face. This is not a real photo. This is a picture of food, so that's probably the big girl. This is something that says bullet bags. That's not, I don't even know what that is, but it's not a picture of someone. This is a black profile picture. This is an AI or some type of fake picture. She's likely none of the women in this picture. This is a cartoon picture. This is a cartoon picture. This is another picture. This might be a real picture, but I highly doubt it's the actual woman that's talking. And if you go look at, let me see. Yeah, down here, another picture of flowers, a picture of a white dude and a black girl, a picture of Trump 2024. So notice that none of these people actually have their true face out there. And have you ever seen an attractive woman hide her face online? I'm just asking. I've never seen a woman who was above a 7 that hides her face online. Now, that doesn't mean that every single photo is her. That don't mean that. But what it does mean is usually people who don't show themselves and don't reveal who they are likely are unattractive. They're likely people who are, insecure about who they are. You see it a lot of times in my chat. You see a lot of tethers come in and do this. A lot of tethers come into my live and they say a lot of this stuff, or just not even tethers. Sometimes it be Black American men or women and they don't like me. But the reason why they're upset is because they're upset with themselves. They don't like what they see. They don't like the decision that they made in life. They don't like, what they've been going through. So they project that negativity on everybody else. So let's keep going though. Just wanted to lay that out there for y'all, so y'all understand who we talking to.
Socially acceptable, the degenerate behavior.
Jew, what's your thoughts on this?
Honestly, before we started doing pod, I don't think I've heard women speak like this about like black men, and I know there's been like domestic relationships where men and women beat each other and primarily men are noticed for it, you know what I mean? But this hatred of, they would say what, self-delete or abortions or other, criminal aspects of, hurting each other. But I, still to this day, I haven't heard a man and I hear black men frequently say how much we need black women, how much we love black women. But on the other end, I just keep hearing black women say things like these women, and they're so comfortable saying it, and then they try to flip it on us. I
will say, you see it on both sides. You see it both sides. I see black men, well, quote unquote, black people say it, black men, black women. But again, I think the main thing is we need to realize that most of these people are not black Americans. Most of these people are outsiders and immigrants. They come over here with that negative disposition. They push that stuff online. You've seen a lot with the Twitter exposing a lot of those different pages who post anti-black male content, anti-black female content. The page say based in Nigeria, based in Senegal, based in East Asia, based in Australia. And even if it does say based in the United States, they could be an immigrant, a tether who fled over here and they living in New York in somebody's apartment saying the same thing. So, most of these people are outsiders, but let's keep going again.
Manipulation tactics or whatever the case may be. And I just don't see the same hatred coming from men. Imagine if you heard, if you did see some, send it to us. Let us react to that and let us hold that man accountable.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
But while we're watching this, let's hold these women accountable for saying what the fuck they're saying. You have black sons, you have black brothers, you have a black father. 9 times out of 10, you know what I'm saying? So where's this? I think it's all built on trauma that they get from.
Another point I want to make, we need to stop using this logic because this is a very emotional, and I like bro. I'm just saying, I'm holding accountability on both sides. You hear women say these things a lot. Well, your mama black, your daddy black, or your mama black, your sister black. That's not an argument. That's not an argument. So I'm just using the same energy. I'm keeping it on both sides because I'm being unbiased here. When you bring up the fact where your mother is black, or your father black, your brother black, that's not an argument. Because by your logic, well, somebody's black and they're kin to you, then there's no way that you should feel like this. No, if anything, they might even be more inclined to feel like this because this person is a part of the same ethnic group as them and they're the opposite gender. So we need to stop with this notion of like, well, your mama black, your daddy black, so you can't say that. Yeah, you probably be more inclined to say it because they are black and they're the opposite gender. So we need to stop. That's not an argument. That's just That's the emotional response, honestly. Just keep it in 100. I'm just keeping it unbiased.
Mama or another woman, because a lot of women don't experience this hate, these things that the next woman hate a black man for. And I just want to know, where does it really stem from? You know what I'm saying? I truly don't understand. Like, I be trying to like, oh, you know, this is the reason. This is the reason. But the more I hear it, I really don't know. And I'm not saying that there's not some, you know, bad black men out there, but I don't hear these other groups of women talking about their men like this, whether it's on a public platform, because y'all yes girling and kikiing and TTing and all these other shit every time a black woman say something like this. And then when a black man replies, you know, we're in our feelings, immature, weak, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So those are my thoughts.
The reason why you don't see other groups and races talking like this is because that's not what you're around. This is a 5-mile radius conversation that kind of he's having. And again, I like bro. I think he said a lot of truth, but I think I'm just bringing down some of these points where people have this mentality. Well, I don't see other people doing it. That's because you're not in their enclaves. You're not on that side of Twitter. The 4B movement is a movement that came out of South Korea of a bunch of women who are completely extraditing their men. They don't want anything to do with men. They're not sleeping with men. They're not romantically dealing with men. They're not even talking to men. It's called the 4B movement. Look it up. The Red Pill movement was not created by black men. It was created by white men. Look it up. You see other forms of this all around the world, but you're just not in those areas, nor are you on that side. You don't follow people from other places or other ethnicities that much to know what's going on. So we got to get out of this 5-mile radius conversation where only black women do this. Black women always got an attitude. Yeah, a lot of black women do have attitudes, but having an attitude is not exclusive to black women. Have you seen the liberal feminist white woman that's behind the Starbucks counter with the blue hair and is overweight, they got a damn attitude? She's no different. So we need to stop having this conversation as if it only happens within us or around us. No, it doesn't. This is just what you're around and what you see. Let's keep going though.
Again, this reminds me of another video that we had reacted to before, and it's very similar concept. And I think it was a white woman, black woman's appreciation for white men, like type of clubhouse. And in there, it was just like, oh, you know, black men belong in a coffin, and black men deserve to die, and you know, our mothers should have, you know, been left to black men. And it was such a,
there's no turning back because these dusties are dusty. They just belong.
Let me real quick. I want to read this comment. I don't think he's talking about black men and women saying negative things. He's saying these women are advocating for men to die, and men aren't doing the same to women. I do agree with that. I do agree with that, Sonic. I haven't yet to see that. Now, Sonic, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. But I will say I have not seen that yet. I don't see men advocating for women to die. I will say that. So I can agree with you on that.
In a coffin. I agree. Because these dusties are dusty. They just belong in a coffin. I agree.
Ladies, I'm so happy that we love in white.
Oh, is my point not proven? Foreign flag. They don't have their flags, and she has an American flag, but who's to say that she's even a black American? Was I lying? Is my point not being proven? Foreign flag. And again, these other women are probably foreigners as well. So like, this is what I mean. So before you throw away and you try to poop on your black American women, understand that these conversations, I'm not saying there's no black American women who sit around and talk like this, because I'm sure there are some. Nor am I saying that there's no black American men who sit around and talk like this, because I'm sure there are some. But the point is proven. Foreign flag. She has an American flag. There's no proof that she's a black American, and more than there's likely these women are not black American either. I'm just saying.
Because they are the most sweetest, wonderful men. And you know what's so sad? Our mothers should have left the black men a long time ago.
I feel safe now that the dusties are in the gulags. When I look at the title, white men are better for black women.
it's just so horrible just to hear it. And then you think about the Cynthia G's and her having live call-in shows with other black women calling in saying maybe we should abort black male fetuses.
And the only reason I support aborting a black child when it comes to it being male is because when I look at the black community and the problems in it, it's associated with males and male pathology. When you talk about violence, it's associated with the males. When you talk about the, women being forced upon, it's the males. When you talk about drugs, it's the males. When you talk about the fatherless children, it's the males. Every single problem that is happening in the Black community, you point to the males and then you have the culprit. So for me, I think that not selectively breeding is very irresponsible when you are the only one who has control over who gets to Earth. Your womb, it carries the person to Earth. So if you're the only one with that power, regardless of whatever he wants.
Like you said, I haven't heard on the opposite end Black men saying anything as harmful or as hateful as the type of rhetoric I'm hearing from Black women.
Now, again, this is my problem with what he just said. The rhetoric I hear from Black women. What you can't do is you can't take one or two Black women and then say, this is the rhetoric from Black women. You being disingenuous. You using a anecdotal situation and then throwing that on the masses in a group of people. I speak about this all the time when I talk about people who have a lack of intelligence and don't understand, probability versus possibility. When I speak about logic, that's what I mean. So we can't argue on one side as men and say, because we can't on one side and argue on men and say that women do that, but then we doing the same thing. That's literally what he did. So you cannot say this is the rhetoric from Black women. No, this is the rhetoric from, first of all, likely not even Black American women, Caribbean women, African women, and then say, yeah, that's their rhetoric. No, it's not. The average Black woman don't think like that. So you could say the rhetoric from some women who happen to be quote unquote possibly Black. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, let's keep going.
And this could all just be the CIA, you know what I mean? Just manipulating with us and stuff like that, because these are people hiding behind a profile.
You thinking they bots?
I don't put it past, you know what I mean? Like I don't put it past them. This could just be another, like you talk about COINTELPRO and stuff like that. This could just be another version of that. Like, trying to manufacture these gender wars to keep us separated, to keep us from coming together and then separate us even further. Like, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of this stuff is fabricated. But still, when I do hear this stuff, I do want to bring awareness to it because these conversations are happening.
Somebody said a lot of Black women do think like that. All right, when you say a lot, based on what? What you hear on the internet? Because if you're going off what you hear on the internet, then to me, you sound like a woman, respectfully. A lot. So the elder Black women talk like that? What Black women like 55 plus, they talking like that on average? The average elderly Black woman is talking like that? No. You'll see some young Black women from the ages of 18 to 27, 28 that may talk like that. I'm not saying there's no women who are Black who talk like this. The point that I'm making is when y'all say these terms like a lot and Black women in general, like no, they're not, bro. No, they not. Y'all niggas be on the line. A lot of you niggas are incels. A lot of you niggas just sit on the line all day. You doing the same thing that I just called out the white dude for doing. The average Black American woman is not talking like that, my nigga. They're just not. They just not. You would have to take, like, come on, man. Y'all niggas is just being this. When I say y'all niggas, I'm not speaking on all y'all, but when y'all say stuff like that, y'all doing the same thing that women do that y'all niggas complain about. So the average Black woman do it, but the average Black man don't do it? Come on now. You have a small percentage of Black men who may do that and a small percentage of Black women who do that. And of that small percentage who do that, half of them probably not even Black American. They either Caribbean or African, spewing that negativity they have with their own men onto us. So y'all need to stop that. I'm just keeping it 100. Y'all got to stop that. It's that 5 mile radius mindset that I talk about. Cynthia G is not the example of Black women. Like, y'all niggas got to stop with that. Not this grimy, exactly. The average modern feminist is. I think the average man is a feminist. You just don't believe. You may not believe so. Don't think feminism is just the way. A lot of you niggas are feminists because a lot of you niggas let your woman control you. A lot of you niggas let your woman do whatever she want to do. A lot of you niggas are feminists in the way that you operate. The average Black man is a feminist. Look at who y'all niggas voted for in the last election. And no, I'm not saying you should vote for Trump. Y'all know I don't rock with Trump. F Trump. But look at what you niggas perpetuate. Look at what you niggas do. You niggas support abortion. You niggas support the same thing that y'all niggas like claim that women do. You niggas do the same exact thing. You just do it low key. It's a small percentage of both. Exactly, Tippy. So a lot of you niggas are feminists too. Bro, you are lost. You act like women ain't influenced by the internet. I never said women aren't influenced by the internet. It sounds like you're projecting. It sounds like you're angry. Let's do this, the director. Let's just do this. Let's not do the comments. Let's have a respectful debate right here, right now on live. And let's bring up facts and numbers and statistics. Can we do that? Instead of us like going back and forth in the chat, You are more than welcome to disagree with me. That is fine. But can you come up and debate me based on what I'm speaking about or based on what you're speaking about? I think it'd be better for, us to come to a conclusion on this. I think that'd be a lot better. So let me set that up. You sound no different from like the female femcells. I call them femcells, not incels. That's the link right there, bro. But I would love for you to come up and give a perspective, and you tell me, like, first of all, where did I say that women aren't influenced by the internet? So you putting words in my mouth, just like a lot of women do. $100, he will not come up. Sounds like he hates women. Yeah, I don't hate women. I hate you bitchs, but I don't hate women though. Voting for Harris does not make someone a feminist. It makes you an accessory to it because you support the very same thing that, first of all, is that feminism pushes. I'm at work, respectfully. I used to respect you. Now you sound like women got to you. Well, you don't have to respect me. I don't really care. You're a random person on the internet on a fake page. Your name is Director Donis. Now, if I go to your page, right, you got 128 subscribers, and you ain't posted a video in the last 10 years, you've posted 2 videos. I mean, you don't have to respect me, bro. I don't know you. Nobody knows you. And I don't really care about your respect to me. $100 I want. You can send it to me. Okay. Well, I think that you are exactly what I was speaking about on the female side, but in male form. A lot of these guys, because he won't come up because he's a weak man. He'd rather sit in the chat, which is typical for the modern man. Y'all scared to stand on business and stand on y'all 10 and get y'all perspective. I talk about you niggas a lot because you dudes deserve to be, talked about. He's no different than the women that we talk about. Fellas, I want y'all to understand something. You can't have it both ways. You can't say the women do all of this stuff and then you never want to call out the men for doing what they do. So what you see is a lot of these incel dudes who sit around me. Ali, thank you for the $20 donation. Shout out to Ali. Who sit around me and be like, yeah, get them when I'm talking about the women. Because I talk about the women. I hold the women accountable. I talk about all the delusion of the modern woman. I talk about how they're very hypersexual, they're homosexuals, they abort their children. They do all of this stuff. They're anti-family, anti-God, but claim they're a part of God. They do all of this stuff, right? I talk about it. But as soon as I put the light on the men, now it's a problem. Now it was, oh, you got the women. You letting the women get you. So you a simp, man. But you was agreeing with all the female stuff. But the thing is, they are exactly what I speak on. Like when I speak about like how I'm not talking about all women, I'm speaking on modern women. You would never get upset if I'm not talking about you. If I said in this live and I was talking about a bunch of broke niggas, guess who's gonna get mad? They're broke niggas. I ain't never seen a woman in shape get mad because a dude say, yeah, I don't like big girls. And a woman in shape go, hey, you exactly what I'm speaking about. You just on the female side of it, my nigga. That's it. You niggas be cornballs. You niggas be incels. You niggas be short. You niggas be poor. You niggas be ugly. You niggas be lame. Your hairline be messed up. Or you niggas be half tethered. Don't get mad at me. I'm just speaking the truth. You can't say I'm wrong. That nigga at work. The average black American woman don't talk like that, my dude. Sorry to tell you. Maybe the ones that you choose because you know how to choose women correctly, but the average black American woman does not talk like that. He probably runs his mouth a lot like a woman. Wait, like a lot of women just can't shut up. If you're going to stand behind feminism, stand by it. How could you vote for a woman to be the president of the U.S. and not agree that women are fit to lead? A lot of these males are feminists, man, at the end of the day. A lot of you men are feminists, and you perpetuate the very same thing that you niggas complain about by the way that y'all vote, the stuff that y'all say. This is what it is. You niggas are weak. And that's what's wrong with the black community now. A lot of you dudes that claim that y'all leaders, you niggas is weak. You niggas is scared to speak your opinion. You niggas is scared to stand on it. See, if you're going to support somebody like that, yeah, you a feminist to me. You just a lower level of it. Anyway, let's get back to the video. I apologize. Y'all know me though. I like going back and forth I like going back and forth, but I like to have a conversation with your face cammed up like a man. I'm not about to sit and go back and forth with a nigga hiding in the chat. You can come up and talk to me like a man. But he was scared, so it's cool. I get it. It's typical. Let's keep going though.
whether it's organic or manufactured. And again, I'm
Ali, again, thank you for the $20 donation. Appreciate it.
not seeing that same, hatred. And again, if y'all find those clips, like Drew said, send it to us, because I'm, a woman has sent me a video of a man being very critical of black women, and she was like, "Oh, see, black men hate." That's their version of we hate women is us being critical of them. You know what I mean? And their version of us hating
Somebody said passive feminist. That's a great term, Carl. Great term.
Is them wanting to actively harm us. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know, Jeff, we talked about even abortions. And, we was talking about from 1970 to present day, the amount of abortions that we had in the black community alone is, I was saying from 18 to 20, like 24 million. And you were saying it could be past, 30 million plus.
So to this abortion thing, it's been plus 20 million. The black American population in the U.S. is, from what they say, I think it's over 50, but from what they say, it's around 45 million, a little less. So if there's been 20 million black American children that have been aborted since the 1970s, that means that almost half of our population has been completely genocided. And then there's people who will argue that that's not a form of genocide. There's people that will argue, like, a lot of people just say stuff, but y'all don't understand. Like, go look up Margaret Sanger. Go look up the people. Go look up the eugenicists. Go look at the eugenicist movement and how they specifically wanted to. She just said out her own mouth. Like, she said out her own mouth. She didn't want black women to continue to have children. And y'all think that same stuff is not implemented into the things that we operate in today. Like, y'all crazy as hell to me if y'all think that. But hey, I'm the bad guy.
And when you think about that number, that's literally a genocide of black children, fetuses being unborn.
I'm over here spilling stuff. I just said it. What did I just say? I just said it was a genocide. 5 seconds later, he just said it's a genocide. Thank you.
You know what I mean? We talk about the Holocaust, slavery, things that we associate as a
how many did they say was killed in the Holocaust? 6 million? And we don't even know if that's the truth. Yeah, okay. Try 3 times that, plus some. Come on now.
A very inhumane.
And we're doing it to ourselves.
And we don't even realize, like, there's a whole genocide in our own backyard that we just dismiss. And now we even to the point where we're trying to vote to keep those type of, we're trying to vote to keep genocide within our community. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose of us wanting to vote for abortion laws. And it's like, why are we voting for abortion laws when we could just get to the root cause, you know what I mean, of the issue instead of going to the most extreme? And you're not even, women, from what I've been, the studies that I have read, like, abortion isn't being used as a medical procedure, like, you know what I'm saying? Or, you got, graped by whatever the case is. This is just because you wanted to be sexually liberated. You wasn't responsible. And now this is your get out of jail card for not being responsible. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
exactly. And that's my biggest issue with it. Like, if there's a health thing, I understand that, right? But it's not being used as the majority of it's not being used by that. It's being used as a form of birth control for bad decision making. And I don't want to hear anybody, because people in the comments be like, well, what if people poor? Well, some people don't be having money. What about that? We was having babies during the time of slavery. What are you talking about? Compare that to all these third world countries where people don't even have a penny and they're still having children. They're still taking care of it. You can make it work. And if you grown enough to do that, then you should be grown enough to deal with the responsibilities that come from it. The thing is, there's a security blanket that people have where people don't think that these things are a big thing. You see a lot of times when it comes to things like SNAP benefits and stuff like that. Right. There are certain situations where I feel like it should be OK, especially when it comes to the elderly, for sure. 100%. People who have a mental disorder, for sure. 100%. But when you continue to give people a security blanket, then they're not going to feel like this issue is a problem. You make people feel like it is OK. And you state, well, if you put out there, well, if you make this amount of money, then you're not going to be able to, get these benefits. It keeps people at a subservient level. And we're the same people who run around and say that the government is racist and this is oppressive and all these people are a negative thing. And they've historically been this way towards us when it comes to our history, when it comes to education, when it comes to health, when it comes to everything that we done had as a people. It's the government is racist and it's all a system that has been historically racist to us. But you want to rely on that same oppressive system for you to put food in your pocket, put food in your mouth, and put money in your pocket every single day. Make that make sense to me. And then we got men who claim they're not feminists who will support that type of stuff because you're not a leader, because you don't want to go out there and get it. I promise you I'll do a million things before I let that be the reason why I'm not going to get my money out here. I do something. I ain't going to incriminate myself on this live, my nigga, but I promise you it's a million things I can do to get some money out here before I rely on the same system that I feel like is oppressive, historically, that towards our people, to make me be able to feed my family. Man, watch out. Let's keep going though.
We can't listen. I could just go on a whole like monologue about that, but it was very disheartening to hear.
Unless you finessing the system, that's different. If you finessing the system, hey, this is allegedly, by the way, allegedly. This is just allegedly. If you finessing it, hey, do what you do. You can have $1 million. If you got snap up, do what you do. You finessing the system. But don't let that be the reason why you can't come past it. Well, I'm not going to get this extra job. I'm not going to get out here and hustle because if you finessing the system, hey, go ahead, do what you do.
This conversation. Jeff, what's your thoughts?
When Tommy Sotomayor was on my show last week, he had made a comment that I think a lot of people on a couple channels got a little upset and angry with him about how many black women were being used as tools and were in right-hand mans of white supremacy. Mm-hmm. And between the bullet bag comments, mm-hmm. the gender-based abortions if you're having a male child, this isn't going to make sense to people unless you look at it through the lens as this. There are white, liberal, extreme feminists that are anti-black and are racist, that are female supremacists.
Yep.
That our black women see as allies and vote just alike.
Listen to what he said again. I want y'all to, and he done said some stuff I disagree with, but he just spoke facts. Listen to what he just said again. I'm about to play it back. Listen to what he just said.
Gender-based abortions if you're having a male child. This isn't going to make sense to people unless you look at it through the lens as this. There are white, liberal, extreme feminists that are anti-black and are racist, that are female supremacists, mm-hmm. that our black women see as allies and vote just alike.
I'm going to repeat what he said because he just spoke facts. There are white female supremacists who are anti-black, who have a female supremacist mentality that, again, are racist, who, unfortunately, and not just black women, black men too, but majority in the way that they vote, black women in majority, and right up under them, black men will vote for, who think is an ally. You think she an ally because she got Black Lives Matter in her bio. You think she an ally because she support the LGBTQ. That's because she is one. I mean, these behaviors that a lot of these liberal people operate in is so against God, but people follow it. People think that it's cool because it's an indoctrination. People think it's cool. They think it's cool. Now, let me say this, because a lot of people get it twisted. I've been seeing in my comments sometimes. I don't hate nobody. I don't think nobody should die. I don't wish no ill will towards nobody. I ain't gonna, throw no type of, I ain't trying to like curse nobody for nothing. You feel me? That I never do that, because that to come back on me. But as far as the mentalities that people operate under and that people think is good, and that people, because it feels good to follow it, like it feels good to be around it because you want to be nice. Whole time that person is literally the furthest from God. The whole time that person is literally the furthest from your community, but you want to follow it, but you want to operate in it. That's all I was telling dude in the chat. I don't think I've heard of gender-based abortion in the black community. I've had to read up on that one. That was just from somebody named Cynthia G. And a couple like femcells who was following her. The majority of black women ain't doing that. So don't get it twisted. That's the only point that I'm making. Stop thinking that these liberal people not racist because, oh, how are you? And all that. Man, they've been the most racist people in the world, man. Or they treat us like we handicapped. They look at our black skin as like a handicap. Oh my gosh, you're black. Oh no, you can't do anything for yourself. You have to rely on me to save you. They want the white savior complex type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? Destiny is a prime example of somebody like that. He's a homosexual, by the way. He lied about it at the start. The whole time it was a video of him sucking another man's penis that got found on Twitter. And then he came out and said he was a homosexual. They have a white savior complex. They feel like black people are inferior to them. So I need to make, since my white race is now traded on me because I think differently from them. So the next way that I can get this supremacy or feel like I'm, something is I need to save the blacks. So I need to go on the internet and just spew whatever thing that I can spew that the majority of black people, unfortunately, because we're lost as a people, believe in, which is whatever the Democrats say, whatever the liberal position is, pro-LGBTQ, anti-us having children, anti-family, anti-male being a leaders and women being up under that, anti-God, because a lot of these liberals, they don't believe in God. They be atheists or they be, very against the God. You know what I'm saying? We follow that and we think that like that is something that's cool. Yeah, it's another form of COINTELPRO tactic. It's an agent. It's nothing but just an agent. And like I told you yesterday. No, not yesterday. I think I told y'all this when I was at the airport when I streamed on my phone. I told y'all like COINTELPRO is not necessarily just agents now. It's a system. It's a system. It's a mentality that they push that we follow. It ain't just the certain people. Nah, now it's system based where they can have something that we all agree to and that we all like want to conform under. They just do it under a system now, or again like an ideology that we feel like is good for us, and it's the complete opposite. Let's keep going though.
So until we come to grips with that,
isn't Cynthia G the lesbian giving relationship advice to hetero women? I don't know if she's a lesbian or not. She probably is. I don't know.
That these women exist. They are not little. And sometimes the attitude and the disrespect and the vitriol and the hatred, there's a spectrum. You got it where it's just talking back. You got it to they don't respect your authority. So you have these extreme cases and examples where they say, oh, I can't wait for them to be the next George Floyd. We ain't protesting this time. Regardless of where they are on the spectrum, they're getting their marching orders from white, liberal women that are female supremacists and are misandrous, and they hate black men and men, period. So just to clarify, if you're a black man, and as I've said earlier, and I will always continue to say, those statements aren't coming out of a vacuum. This ideology isn't coming out of a vacuum. There are people that are women that our women are listening to that's causing and creating much of the divide that we're talking about.
I want to read this comment. D Chicago 1986 says, this isn't a liberal versus conservative problem. We have a parental issue in our communities. This isn't that complicated. Raise your children in a safe neighborhood and send them to good schools. I think you missing a lot of context to that. Well, that's been the main thing is the parental issue. So I can agree with you on that. But to say that it's not a liberal versus conservative problem, I don't think it's a necessarily, because to me, it's the same thing on both sides. That's why I'm not a Republican. I don't support the people on the right. When I say conservative, I don't mean it's like whatever they believe in, I believe in. No, when I say conservative, I'm pro-black family. I'm pro-black male being the leaders and pro-black women following their men. I'm against anything that got to do with us as a people not being able to prosper. So I'm against all the gang thug life culture. I'm against all the sexy red baby mama culture. I'm against the degeneracy. I'm against anything that got nothing to do with God. I'm against LGBT, not like them people for being who they are. I'm against the form in which it's like being perpetuated and pushed on us as a people. I don't think them people should die, but I don't agree with the lifestyle, and the lifestyle don't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? As far as like our community. Because the number one thing you can do as a man, to me and as a woman, is honestly the most fulfilling thing you can do is create a black family. You know what I'm saying? So it got something against that. I'm against us relying on the government to help us, because the same oppressive system that's been destroying our community for years. So it's the ideologies that I'm speaking on. I didn't say that the whole problem in the black community is because of liberals versus conservatives. No. It's the ideology that becomes the problem that we follow. And again, you can see that by the way that the average black American man and woman votes. It's the ideology. We are indoctrinated. I say that all the time. I probably say that more than anybody else on YouTube that y'all probably watch. Indoctrination. You are being taught in a way that you think is the right way, but it is wrong. It is not the right way. You just believe it's the right way because your feelings are involved. But if you get down to the logic and the facts and you get down to data, it's incorrect. If you get down to just morality, right and wrong, it's incorrect. It's not complicated. If you went to a poor school and live in a violent environment, odds are you're going to struggle. What does that have to do with what I'm talking about as far as like mentality and indoctrination? I don't think anybody believes that you could be a product of your environment. I don't understand what you're talking about. Gloria Steinem was a CIA operative that used the feminist movement to move black women away from the Black Power movement. Yeah. The false pastors, politicians, and gangsters gotta go. Agreed. This dummy forgot tapes rolling in their business, and the company saw what happened and fired her. ASS. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about the ideologies, bro. Whoever the Chicago person is, I don't know what. Respectfully, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm simply speaking on the ideology because the dude and because we watching this video and I'm listening to what dude is saying. And he's correct. Nothing about what he's saying is wrong. But I'm just going a little bit more detail about it.
And they're supporting them. They're working together. They're looking out for each other. And then when it comes to politics, they vote in alignment. So when you are a black man, still in 2025, thinking that the women who think this way and whose minds are captured you are on the same team with them, you are not.
Right.
You are not. And you should know it every time something comes up that involves a man or a woman. What's the women that vote that way? Who do they side with? Who's always the victim? Who's innocent until proven guilty? Is it we got to wait to the evidence, or is it believe all women? Which by default means disbelieve all men. You have to wake up to that reality. I don't know how many ways I gotta say it to people.
I raised both my sons right here in Chicago. They are not thugs. They are soldiers in the army. I agree about the parenting. I agree with that too. I agree with protecting your kids from that ideology on both sides too, by the way, because don't get it twisted and think the conservative mentality. Because again, I'm that, but not in the sense that they believe, because 90% of them conservatives are racist anyway. So don't get it twisted.
It's not that the Republicans and conservatives are so amazing. What I'm suggesting is that type of stuff, that type of vicious, nasty attitude towards black men specifically, we can no longer say that this is only happening amongst white people and on the far right.
Yep.
There are black women who vote and follow every slogan, every trend, every talking point, and it's anti-family, anti-men, anti-boys, and anti-black boys in the womb.
And anti-God, the most important thing. That's what they don't understand. This is why we need to call out some, like somebody said, these pastors and stuff, because they be in these churches pushing this same thing and don't even know that they're doing it.
When you get that and realize that, a lot of the prescriptions that men are making in this space, and the reason why we're raising the alarms right now, is because if you don't listen to us now as ladies and separate yourself from the women that act this way and talk this way, you're going to be left to end up being like all the women that's giving all this feedback and advice to everybody else, but doesn't even have the outcomes they want relationally. You're going to be older. You're still going to be on your own. And my recommendation to everybody else is invest in pet food. Invest in drug companies that make antidepressants and antipsychotics, because these women are going to be supporting those businesses very much so.
That's another thing I do want to touch on real quick. There's this, every time I go online, women specifically want to talk about the male loneliness epidemic. Like, they're the only ones ever talking about this. And it brought me to an article about women's depression and, how modern women today have higher levels of depression.
Man, America is Sodom and Gomorrah, bro. That's what America is now. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. Babylon. It's just crazy that people just follow stuff and don't think for themselves, man. They just believe whatever they see. They don't even have a thought process to like think another way to see if what they seeing is actually even true in its entirety. It's so crazy to me. Is that people just follow the masses, like they just follow. What I'm saying is against the grain. Now, I'm not saying every time you say something against the grain, you like that means you right? You got whistleblowers that ain't even got no whistle to blow. But this is the opposite of the norm. What I'm speaking on, the stuff that I'm saying. This is like, I'm not on the side of whenever the masses of people believe something, you need to be very wary about it. You need to start to think, has America ever been a country of like trying to do best or do right by its people? Let me actually look this up and how can it affect me and affect my community? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the stuff that really, really, really people just don't do, because a lot of people go off of what sounds good to them. I never really thought about these things before, but it's definitely important. You got to think about it. That's exactly. And that's why I try to bring people conversations, not to make you believe what I believe, but it's to get you thinking. You can completely just say, I don't agree with that. But I want you to think, though. And don't just say, I don't agree because you feel like it and it doesn't make you feel good. Say you don't agree because what I'm saying is false. Like, no, Aunt, over 20 million black babies have not been, taken. And this is why. Or no, Aunt, black men should not be leading their households. And this is why. I just don't like it because black men be patriarchy. Okay, but what facts do you have? Give me some logical perspective. So it's just to get people thinking. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. Expecting the men who went to poor schools to be leaders in the household they've never made no sense. This is a parental and lack of common sense issue. No, I think if anybody thinks that the school is going to teach you to just be a better man, because you keep saying poor schools. So you think the problem in the black community is just the poor schools. So as long as they go to a school that got money, then they can be good and they can be leaders. Well, let me just give you some knowledge and game, because you seems like you're very uneducated. Most of the black male leaders in our community historically have always lived in poor communities, went to poor schools, and didn't have the access of resources. So it sounds like to me that you want to assimilate Chicago 1986. That's what it sounds like to me. What school did Fred Hampton go to? What school did Elijah Muhammad go to? What school did Martin Luther King go to? What school did Malcolm X go to? What school did any other black leader that we prop up in a positive position, what school did they go to? And the same school that is the school that have not taught us our history correctly, that has completely just disregarded our history, not even just talked about it correctly, but disregarded it. So you tell me the schools that we all should be going to that is going to help us just be better and we're going to have more black male leadership. Tell me. The suburban white school with around the white folks, which there's nothing wrong if you go to school. What, like, you keep speaking about the poor schools. Like, tell me, like, what do you think, what do you think leaders come from? Like, we had leaders during slavery when they had, quote unquote, technically no education. So, like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? It's just that poor, it's just y'all keep sending y'all's kids to these poor schools in these poor areas. What? What are you talking about? Do you know why black people live in the areas that we live in? Like, I don't know what are you talking about, man? Do you keep saying it's the poor schools, it's the poor schools? No, nigga, it's way deeper than just going to school. Damn, dude, you're still streaming? Yeah, nigga, I've been on for 2 hours. I've been on for 2 hours. Usually my streams is, 3 hours. I'm not sure leadership skills should be taught at home. So they should be taught at school? So the white teacher your white teacher is supposed to teach your black son how to, be a leader for his black family. That's what you're telling me? I'm confused. Most of the teachers in these black schools are white women. So because a few people made it, the school systems are good. I didn't say the school systems are good. Now you're arguing another point. You're moving the goalposts. I never once in this conversation said school systems are good. What I'm telling you is, where do you keep coming to the conclusion that it's the school system and that's the reason why the black community is messed up? It's just the schools. So if y'all start putting y'all kids in good schools, then they'll be good. Where did you hear me say that the bad schools are the schools that we should be going to? What are you talking about? I'm saying they should be taught at home. Okay, I think it was the way you set up your sentence, Leah, because you said, I am not sure leadership skills should be taught at home. So to me, that sounds like you're questioning if leadership skills should be taught at home. But you saying leaders, I think because you didn't put no comma or nothing. So you're saying leadership skills should be taught at home. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But I think leadership skills are also taught by just, things that you go through, things that you see. So it's not all about being taught at home, because not everybody got that leader. Just sometimes you got to have that it factor, Leah, that some people just don't have, But a lot of that comes from experiences. A few people, those people are icons. Well, to him, Zobi, it's only a few people. Let me just invite you up, bro. Let me just invite you up. And don't tell me you at work, nigga. Nigga, I'm at work. You driving that big old truck. No diss to the truck drivers in here. I know it's some in here, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just come up, bro. Just come up, bro. And let's have a conversation. Tell me that the issue in the black community is just because we go to poor schools. I just put the link in the chat for you, though. So you can give your perspective, I'll give mine. We can agree to disagree, but it's all good. But there's no point of us going back and forth in the comments, and when you could just come up and we could talk like men. You feel me? I'm a real estate agent. I'm at work. Well, clearly you ain't doing your job, nigga. Ain't nobody buying your houses because you ain't here babbling. So maybe it's them poor houses that you're selling to people while the community messed up. You choose to sit at home all day, not me. Well, no, I think the difference is I don't have to go up under somebody else to do anything. I'm a lot more intelligent than you, and I probably make a lot more money than you, and I don't have to go to somebody else's job to tell me what I need to get off of work. If I wanted to get off this live right now, and if I wanted to take a flight to another country right now, I could. You couldn't, because you have to operate under someone else. So that's the problem, that me and you defer, nigga. I'm not a follower, nigga. I'm not a yes man. I do what I want to do. because I work hard, nigga. You twice my age, nigga. You was born in you was born in 1986. So what you almost 40? There's nothing wrong with, like, you know what I'm saying, going to work and having a job. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's the difference between me and you, my nigga. I figured it out. So I go against the system. You're a follower of the system. You're a sheep. You do what they tell you to do. I don't do what they tell me to do. I don't think that the school is gonna get me out of it. No, I think learning on your own is gonna get you up out of there. That's the difference between me and you, my nigga. Luckily, I have a platform. Well, by the way, too, we just passed 25,000 subscribers just now. I just got the notification on my phone. So the difference between me and you is I can have 25,000 subscribers on the platform, and I can have, what is this? How many people in the live watching me right now? How many? I can have 230 people watching me right now on a damn Tuesday at 4:48 in the afternoon. Nobody's watching you. You're sitting inside of an office picking up calls, trying to make commission. That's the difference between me and you, my bro. And there's nothing wrong with that. You do what you do, but you came at my work. You came at me about sitting at the house all day. At least I sit at the house all day and I be productive. Trust me, I'm much more productive than you are on a normal day basis. That's why you don't want to cam up. Because you can't. Because you got work and you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to cam up. I know you're not allowed to. I'm allowed to, though. That's the difference between me and you. I'm allowed to. You're not allowed to. You have to ask to get on your phone. I don't have to do that. It's cool though, bro. You do you. And don't work jobs. There's nothing wrong with working a job. I haven't had a job since 2020. My last job was March of 2020. Haven't worked a job since. And there's nothing wrong with working a job. I'm not, because y'all make the world go round. All you blue collar workers, all you people that work jobs and skilled labor, I appreciate all of y'all, because I can't do nothing if it ain't for y'all. But if you're gonna try to come at me and my lack of doing something, I'm gonna just come right back at you. So if you take offense, hey, that's on you. But I don't know. Are you doing anything in society to help / support FBA, or are you just a guy saying what should and should not be done, supported, etc.? I'll answer your question if you come up on the live, Tavion. Come up on the live and turn your camera on, and I will answer your question with no malice. I don't even take your question as malice or if it's disrespectful. I don't even care if it is or not. But if you want me to answer your question, you have to come up and you have to turn your camera on, and I can answer your question. And I think it's an excellent question, because I think it's a question that don't get asked enough. But Tavion, if you want me to answer your question, go ahead and hit that link, turn your camera on, come up, and I'll answer your question. I promise you. And I promise I'm not coming with no type of malice. I just want you to come up and turn your camera on. So if you could do that, then I got you. I have 3 degrees. My freedom came from work. I could have done with a high school diploma. I admit that I got low-key scammed. That's it. I mean, unless, to me personally, bro, if you're not going to college for something that you really, really want to do, or a skill that you have to learn there that you like need the paperwork for, then I think most colleges are a scam, because you're gonna go into debt. It just is what it is. Like if you want to go to college to be like a doctor, like, yeah, you need to go learn. Don't be operating on me and you ain't educated. Why do I have to do all that for you to answer a question? Why do I have to answer your question? You see how logic can work on both sides? Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Because this is my show and I run it how I want to run it. So if you're asking a personal question, so if you want to get personal, then I want to get personal back with you. So I want you to show your face and be a man and stand on your 10. You're asking me a personal question about what I do with my life, and that's fine. I just want to see what you look like so I can know who I'm talking to, because that's how men operate. I know you're on your little fake page and you're used to going up on people and trolling and all that, but I want you to come up and I want you to show your face. Why you answering everybody else's questions without them coming up? Why I got to do it? Because you're asking a personal question. Nobody's in here asking me personal questions about my own life. People are asking questions based on the conversation that we're having. You're completely going on a personal tip because you don't like what I'm saying, and that's fine. But since you don't like what I'm saying, that's fine. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity to come up and show your face, which you won't do because you're probably ugly. And I think this is an ugly nigga epidemic that we're having in 2025, where y'all see niggas that y'all are like very jealous of. And y'all just, y'all try to say stuff to like, because I know you asking the question in bad faith. You're asking the question to try to be like disingenuous. And he probably hiding his hairline. So I'm gonna answer your question. Even though you won't come up, I'm still answer your question because you just proved to me that you weak. So it's like, you're not even nobody that I respect at this point. So it's like, I don't even care to talk to you no more. That's why you just got muted forever. Have a good day. But anyway, I'm gonna answer your question. What I'm doing, first of all, is educating my people, and specifically educating what I try to do, even though I don't got that many. I try to educate people that's in my age group, because what we don't have enough is a lot of people that are having these conversations specifically in my age group and getting people out of indoctrination. So that's the first thing I'm doing. The second thing I'm doing is I'm not having children out of wedlock. The third thing I'm doing is I'm going to marry. This is the most revolutionary thing that you can do. If anybody watching this, marrying and having children, procreating, having children with a Black American man and a Black American woman. That is the most revolutionary thing that you can do. That's for anybody that's watching this right now. You don't have to be no martyr. You don't have to be no quote unquote leader. You don't have to do none of that. The most revolutionary thing that you can do is continue to procreate with your own group. And that's always been that way. So if anybody is curious, that's what you can do. So that's what I'm doing to answer your question. And I don't have no children out of wedlock. I ain't no gangbanger. I'm an educated young Black American male who is not scared to show his face on camera, something that you haven't done. You probably got kids. You probably got kids out of wedlock. You probably don't take care of your kids. Your kids is probably you living with their mama. That's why you at work and you don't want to come up. Or even if you ain't at work, you ain't got no job, you don't want to come up. Your name is Tavion. Your mama named you, which is fine. I know your daddy ain't named you. I know your daddy ain't named you. Your mama named you. My daddy named me. That's the difference between me and you. I had my father in my life. You didn't. So that's what I'm doing. Do better, Tavion. You'll be all right. And I also, too, I don't go on fake pages trolling. I go on my main page and keep it 100. Tavion, is it true that every African and Caribbean is born with a GPS inserted in their foot with directions to America? Hey, I gotta screenshot that, man. Hold on. I gotta screenshot that. Born enemy, dude. Hey, man, hold on. How you screenshot on here? I forgot. Oh, I got it. I'm screenshotting that, bro. This nigga said, is it true every African and Caribbean is born with a GPS inserted in their foot with directions to America? Man, y'all niggas is hell, man. That nigga about to be like, no, nigga, it's not in our foot, nigga. It's in our finger, nigga. Get it right. Do not disrespect the African feet, nigga. It is in our finger. Get that nasty ass Ebola finger up on my face. All right, let me chill. I'm not sure, but I think the stat is 85% of blacks are married to each other. I think that's, I don't know. I thought it was a little bit higher than that. I thought it was like in the high 90s, but yeah, majority of black men and women are married to each other. And that's the most revolutionary thing that you could do. Watch out, Demetrius, my government name. Oh boy. It's funny, like when people come at you from like a personal tip, but they never actually get to your points. So it's like I say 1 + 1 is 2. What are you doing to help people? But why are you saying? Okay, what am I saying that's wrong though? If you can't like attack my point and you attacking me personally, that just mean I won. That means that you don't have any like real true like point to make because you just want to come personally. You see that a lot of time on my live when I do my dating show when women come up. Are you in a relationship? You're ugly. You're DL. You're broke. Okay, let's just say all of that is true. Can you say anything that I said that was incorrect? And they never can. So it's just like, you know, he's just operating like a modern woman. You'll be all right, Tavion. I know you're still watching. You'll be okay. I ain't say you had to do that, Jay Wallace. I ain't say you had to do that. You could do it in a different way. But only like 40% of black adults are married. I thought it was like 35, and the majority of them is going to end up getting divorced, unfortunately. So we need to also get married, but we need to get married under the right construct and reasons. And a lot of people don't get married under God. They get married for their own, you know, under their own mentality, like on what they believe, not, you know, what God believe or what God want. Whole time they on that damn couch talking about what are you doing? Nigga on the toilet right now in the middle of his wipe, talking about what I'm doing, nigga. Shut up. All right, let's keep going. My fault. It's almost over with.
Antidepressant pills more than any other women in any previous generations. And I'm like, why isn't there more coverage about that? You know what I mean? They want to paint this false narrative that women are so happy and they're happy without men. But then you look at the statistics and you see that most women in modern society is depressed, stress levels is high, on antidepressant pills, but they want to fixate on male loneliness epidemic. Men are lonely. Men are, like, they the only ones ever talking about. I don't hear no other men talking about they lonely. Like, it's the women trying to convince other men that they are lonely, and they want to keep having these conversations while avoiding the conversation about them being depressed. Like, what's your thoughts on that topic? Like, you know,
Well, Scott Galloway, he's doing a pretty decent job of trying to bring attention to the male loneliness epidemic, how boys and men are struggling in society. But even when he tries to do it in the presence of women, they end up doing a lot of what you kind of discussed. They minimize it. They shame the men. They operate from a
Claude Neely Francis Amos $155. FBAs are disadvantaged not because of being an educated servant to WS schools, but because the SWS is dominating people based on color in all areas of people activity. Neely Fuller Jr.
Thank you for the $5 Claude Neely Francis Amos 1. Let me repeat exactly what you said. Oh damn, it went away that quick. Since when do it go away that go away that quick? Let me pull it up. I'm about to pull up what you said because I think you made an excellent point. And this is the same way I feel about like certain government benefits when it comes to education and all of that. Why I don't think that we should like teach Black history in schools. I'm glad you just said that. Let me go to that donation. Claude Neely Fuller Amos 1 sent the $5 donation again. Thank you for the $5 donation. It says, oh, y'all can see this. I don't even know y'all can see this. FBAs are disadvantaged not because of not, and she put in caps, or he, I don't know if it's a guy or a woman, but of not being an educated servant to white supremacist schools, in parentheses, but the SWS is the systematic white supremacy is dominating people based on color in all areas of people activity. Neely Fuller Jr. Thank you for saying that. And it's such a like a delusional point to make. Well, the Black people was messed up because we going to poor schools. So just put us in better schools and we gonna be good. Okay, but who runs this so-called better school? Who runs it? Who controls it? Who pushes the education? Who does it? Don't give me HBCUs, by the way, too. HBCUs are also funded by the government. So they get to choose the curriculum. Don't think because you around a bunch of Black people that's gonna make it better. Those things are still controlled and owned by the US government. Trust me, if they was teaching Black radical in there, oh yeah, it'd be they'd shut that school down in a second. Don't get it twisted. So, hey, what they say? Stop blaming immigrants from Africa and Caribbeans if FBA can't be bothered to elect FBA politicians. What are you talking about? What are you even talking about? And I don't blame African and Caribbeans. I don't like tethers. I don't got nothing against Africans and Caribbeans. Shout out to the Africans and Caribbeans in the chat. I don't like you tethers. I got friends that's African and Caribbean. Not like I talk to every day, but like I got friends that I've been cool with, still cool with to this day that's African and Caribbean. I don't like you tethers. That's always been my problem. Oh, Tavion came back. He keep getting muted. It's funny how you got so much energy. Hold on. So much energy and so much to say, but when you was at Tariq and other guys' presence, you was stumbling over your words and couldn't look them in their eye. I don't know where you got looking in them in your eye from, but it's funny that you saying all this about me, but you won't come up and look me in my eye and talk to me, and you on a fake page trolling with no profile picture. Again, your name is Tavion. You was named by your mother. Your father wasn't even on your birth certificate paper. Tavion is such a lady. He wanted to go girls. Tavion, it's cool. You wanted the girls. It's all good. You wanted the girls with the W, nigga. GWORLS. You wanted the girls, nigga. It's all good, bro. You catty. You real catty like a woman. Instead of you coming up and telling me this to my face and hitting that link, you rather just talk about me personally. You like a woman, bro. You a little girl. That's how I know you ain't got your daddy in your life. Or you ain't really getting no game from no OGs. Or you must be just an immigrant. Because I don't know a real nigga act like that. Note, 85% of Black men are married to Black women. 93% of Black women are married to Black men. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I know that. By the way, bro, Tavion, that don't make me upset. I spoke about that publicly. Like, that doesn't make me feel like you thought you exposed me? Nigga, my live from 2 days ago got almost 10,000 views. Probably past 10,000 views. Nigga, that's public information. You said that like I was trying to hide it. Nigga, I'm the one who said it. That don't hurt me and hurt my feelings, my nigga. At least I'm a man and stand on stand on how I feel and actually tell people the truth. So you're not hurting me by saying that to me, my nigga. That's something publicly that I put out there. I don't care. Please don't procreate. We don't need any more dastardly children on this side of heaven. Maybe not with you, because girl, with that face. Girl. Girl, maybe not with you. Trust me, I would never procreate with you. Trust me, because girl, that profile picture, ooh wee. You just zoomed in at the most you could zoom in too, and you still got a normal man. Look, let me keep going. We have plenty of black folks in the government. The issue is they don't work for us. Yeah, and when you say black folks, are they actually black or are they other ethnicities? You know what I'm saying? And again, they compromise. They don't care about black people having any type of liberation. They care about smiling in front of whites. And that doesn't matter if they're on the Democratic Party or the Republican side. It's two sides of the same coin. You know how much of a threat if they taught trade and financial literacy in middle school and high school, especially for our community? Man, facts. How do you feel about Israel lobbying, influencing American politics? I can't say much about Israel. I'm sure you know why. But I will say this. They have way too much influence and we spend way too much money to Israel. And that's one of the many reasons why I don't like Trump. And I don't like not even just Trump. It would have been the same thing with Kamala or any of the U.S. presidents. We got too much money that we send over there. And they are the reason why a lot of these wars get started. It's not even because of America. It's because of Israel and we're their ally. But I ain't going to get too much into it. This is YouTube. And you know you can't talk about the small hat people. You already know you can't. Or they're going to get you up out of here. So I'm going to keep it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep it alone. I'm going to leave it right then and there. Let's keep going, though. My fault, sir.
And as the prize. And your life's not working out. Mm-hmm. Your conclusions are going to be that if I'm anxious, if I'm depressed, if life isn't going the way that I thought it should have been by now, it has to be because of the men. That's their foundational philosophical conclusion. That's how they operate. That's how they move. That's why they don't apologize. That's why they struggle with taking accountability, because they've been conditioned to think that everything that happens in life that's good is because of me and women, and everything that's bad that happens is because of a man or the men that's in my life. When you understand that, that's why you can have horrible mothers, but you don't describe them as deadbeat mothers. And that's why you have narratives.
I speak on that too.
The feminization of culture has shaped every single area, and you start learning this from the moment you come out the womb as a boy and a man. One of your earliest lessons of how to view this is when it came to hitting as a kid, who don't you hit as a boy?
A girl.
That mentality is what they took and added steroids to it over the last 10, 15 years.
Oh, you're right. Yes, great analogy.
So although it's wrong for both of us, it's more wrong when the man doesn't. And
they use that shit with everything now.
So when you take that concept and now apply it in every major area, they're not y'all try to do the whole when you ask women about equality and fairness. Yeah, they're using two totally different lenses.
For sure. All
right. So it's not that they're not, believe it or not, it's not that they tangibly see it as a contradiction. It's that I have a set of prescription reading glasses over here, and I have a set of dark shade sunglasses over here. When a woman's done it, this is how I view it. And when a man's done it, this is how I view it. That's why when Halle Berry has to pay all this money, when Mary J. Blige has to pay all this money, when there's discussions about Cardi being Offset and the potential for her to have to pay all this, it's disgusting. That's wrong. Why would you have to pay for another adult? Every talking point we made.
He's not a real man if he accepts alimony.
It's because they have totally different standards. They can hear that and they'll come up with explanations, and just some of them will come up with explanations and justification. Well, what happened to them? They were hurt. You'll see it with cheating. If cheating is one of the worst things a man can do, and they say he's disgusting, his life should be ruined, everything should be taken from him. But then you find out they got homegirls that cheated that's still in their life as friends.
For sure.
Well, he wasn't doing this and she was unhappy.
Nobody's
when you realize this as a man, this is what I call red pill. This is what they hate. All you're doing is saying the truth about the reality of how men and women tend to operate.
I don't want to keep pausing y'all, but I think Femi just asked a great question. Why is feminism always demonized? When did feminine and masculine become negative, or when did one become superior to the other? Well, I don't know if feminism is the word, because feminism is basically the movement or the ideology, but I would say femininity. Why is femininity always demonized? When did feminine and masculine become negative, or when did one become superior to the other? Well, I think it's a great question that you asked. So this goes into the things where you see a lot of times, you see one more often than the other. You see toxic masculinity. Sometimes you see toxic femininity. And this is what I have to say to that. And I think it's like, this is the internet. It's the indoctrination. That it's like liberal mentality. First off, there is no form, when you say toxic masculinity, when people say that term, toxic masculinity, inherently what they're saying is there's a form of masculinity that is toxic. Let me repeat it again, because you got to listen to it and break this down. When you say toxic masculinity or toxic femininity, what you are saying is there is a form of masculinity, which innately in itself is not a bad thing, or femininity. There's a form of masculinity that is toxic. So the question that I ask, because I've debated people about this, I used to debate about this a lot on Twitter when I held Twitter spaces. What form, I asked the question, what form of masculinity is toxic? And then what you'll hear a lot of times is, well, men put their hands on women. That's toxic. So is putting hands on a woman masculine? And then they look at you like you crazy. No, putting your hands on a woman is not masculine, right? So when you say toxic masculinity, you're correlating that with someone who's operating in bad behavior, because there's no form of masculinity and femininity that is innately toxic. Toxic is toxic. Exactly, Nicole. And it don't matter if you're a man or a woman. So there's no form of it that is toxic. Some people like to talk about things like manipulation, right? Women manipulate things with their words, and they're called that toxic femininity. But there's no form of manipulation that would be feminine, because manipulation is something that is toxic. That doesn't mean that it's toxic because it's feminine, because femininity is not toxic. So the same logic would apply. So the reason why they demonize it, number one, is because of that. And the next thing I'll say, Femi, is number two, is because it's easier to control a group of people. See, when you can control people and you could take away what they innately do, which is like what they should normally just operate in, which is masculinity and femininity, you can make them feel like that is something that is a bad thing. So now you have no family structure. You have no men in the household. The men in the household believe that them being the leader of the household is now a bad thing, right? You can indoctrinate women into believing that being up under a man and letting him lead you is a bad thing. The average woman of today, the average modern woman of today, does not believe that there's any value in being a wife. They believe there's value in just being a strong, independent woman that got a PhD, and I got my business, and I got my 100,000 followers, and I'm verified, and that's where my value comes from. No, man, their value comes from everything else that have to do with something that you didn't have to become. Women are already born with their value. You know what I'm saying? So we're not looking at things the correct way. But when you control the media, when you control these things, you can push and you can indoctrinate whatever you want people to believe in. Men feel like their masculinity is a bad thing. Men feel like leadership is a bad thing. Women feel like femininity is a bad thing. Women feel like submitting to a leader is a bad thing. And even though that is the backbone of a society and a community, especially the black community, specifically. So really what it is again, like I said, it's just indoctrination that they have now implemented, and it was always operating in the opposite way. Thank you. Okay, excellent explanation. That perspective needs to be pushed to the forefront of masculine and feminine debate. I always bring that up, and this is a debate tactic that anybody, the 202 people watching me right now, anybody that want to use that in debate, please use it. Whenever they say toxic masculinity, toxic femininity, ask them what form of masculinity is toxic. And almost always they're going to say, oh, men putting their hands on women. Men feeling like because they're a man, they get to just dominate. Men that feel like because they're a man that they can just tell women what to do. That's not masculine. That behavior that you just explained is not masculine. That is toxic behavior. It's not toxic because it's masculine, because that behavior is not masculine. You understand that? So yeah, y'all use that in debate and you'll be able to catch anybody, whatever they trying to push. You can catch anybody. I've destroyed people with that argument because they don't know how to push back on it. You just put me on game. Control role rehearsal. The effeminization of the black man and the masculinization of the black woman. Exactly. That's the Willie Lynch chapter 2 SHIT. We need more highly masculine black men. I agree. And do I think the average black man is masculine? No, I do not. And we need more of it.
If she's
less of it,
too far to the left in her mentality, she will always elevate the female in a scenario that involves a man.
Gotcha.
Once you see, you'll see it with the double standards with interracial relationships. You'll see it with double standards with abuse. You mentioned abuse earlier. You don't know that it's actually more bidirectional and that it's often more initiated from women?
I believe that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Think of it this way. If you remove men from the equation and you measure gay relationships between two men and two women, and even compare it to
Eli brings this
heterosexual,
up all
who's
the
at the
time,
top? Women on women violence. They can get away with the narrative that we're the most abusive just because we're stronger.
Yeah.
So what I'm basically suggesting is that doesn't surprise me.
Well, you said IDK and myself. I like a dominant man. That's a good thing. That's what I'm saying. You should be a dominant man. That's a good thing.
Won't be shocked if it's not fake. And we've seen too.
And yeah, people don't know that. When they talk about domestic violence, the highest rates of domestic violence come from lesbian relationships. That's facts. And you know the lowest rate, which is crazy? Gay men. Gay men have the lowest levels of domestic violence. It's crazy.
Many other instances for us to even doubt if whether or not it is fake. The reality is there is a contingent of women that's growing, not just in the black community, but especially in the black community. That it's not about disliking black men or disliking some of their behaviors and the lack of accountability and structure and doing certain things the right way. It's that there's an actual hatred towards the men themselves. And my warning to men is it gets like this and gets this bad because when you simp, when you don't check behavior, when you give rings to women that don't deserve it, when you tolerate behaviors that you shouldn't, this is the final form. It isn't going to lead towards the outcome that you think because you keep rewarding bad behavior. You keep rewarding evil, and it's going to turn back against you in the end. If you keep aligning with them, if you keep sleeping with them, if you keep voting like them, this is why our community has gotten to the way that it's gotten. When are y'all going to wake the fuck up as men? If you are a black man still following in being led by women that think like this, which white feminists that talk like this and act like this, who do you think they align with? Black women that vote this way. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. I'm not saying that this is all women. I am saying the ideology that could even think like this is probably coming from the same group that thinks I don't need a man. I don't respect men. He got to earn my femininity. Why do I have to bring anything or why you got to expect anything from me? Bring something to the table for what? That's where this shit starts, where you've already dehumanized you and now you're just a work mule. And then when it still doesn't
Somebody said, to be honest, red hat sound games.
work out,
Y'all gotta chill, man.
Where they get to, where if we can't have you, if you're not marrying us, if you're not sticking around, if you have a kid, if you're dating out, well, now we're just going to talk to white male supremacists to see if they can do the job we can. That's what's really happening. So everybody else is claiming that I hate women. No, I'm trying to wake women up, black women up especially, and say, y'all better differentiate yourselves. Y'all better distinguish yourselves real quick, because the men that have options are not going to put their hand in a bucket of snakes and try to find out which one is poisonous.
Yeah, for real.
These women are everywhere. They're the ones that's pushing certain things. They're pushing certain agendas, and they're the ones that's divisive, and they're the ones that will prefer that men never become in the leadership role again, politically, socially, or familially. They are anti-men and anti-male leadership. If you don't see it, if you don't wake up, if you don't get it, that's why we are in the situation we're in. So y'all better listen to the people that you actually don't like what they have to say. Then keep listening to all the podcasts and all the platforms that's telling you what you want to hear, because they're just telling you sweet lies and it's not changing your actual fucking life.
Take that. I ain't gonna hold you.
Listen, join a Patreon, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's end it up. Some good perspectives, man. Real good perspectives, man.